The broadcast is live.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Thursday evening. And not Scott today, but you've got me because Scott's working. So, hope you're all well. As I've just had a word in my ear and I can see that there's 21 watching me. So, let me introduce you to bring the two earworms on. I've got two today. I'm living dangerously. I've got to walk away while I do this. So you've got Andy H is for
Hello there.
turning, his first earworm in session, and you've got Brian from Heartwood Turning. So they're both going to be in the background, and immediately they're going to be in the background because I can change that and come up and talk to you then because I've got the computer the other end to where I am. So I'm now back on screen. So what are we going to do tonight? Well, I've spoke this afternoon on Brian's that it was going to be miniatures. So this is a little miniature. And there are a few issues with it. A, it rocks where it's dried and warped. So the other side is directly opposite to that, so it's hollow. And it's 18 inches across by 2 inches deep. So with about 5/8 of an inch, I'm going to lose. It's going to end up as a fairly flat platter shallow bowl. But I'm not worried about that because what I'm going to do, let's bring the camera up a bit, is use these oysters again like I did before. Little U branches that I've cut at an angle. So they're cut at about 20 degrees, just to give you a more of an oyster view on them. And this time I will use milliput. That bark last time was a bit of a nightmare to get it sorted and get it set and get it all filled. So I'm going to use milliput this time. So drop this onto the lathe. I've already mounted a faceplate ring on the back. So we're on C jaws. Let me put this on and then I'll swing the cameras over so that you can actually see what I'm doing, which is always a good thing. So bear with me, guys. I want to go on to that one. I should be pleased when I can get Stream Deck sorted. I want that one, which is on a tripod, which means I can put that. Let's take that off the screen because I can't see it now. Does anyone else talk to themselves and give themselves a bollocking?
Yeah, absolutely, all the time, Keith.
Yeah, good. I hate to be alone on this.
You get
So-
the
Oh, you're
answer you
not.
want then.
It's, can you zoom out a little bit?
I can
I'd
now.
like to see it there. That's it. That's good.
Yeah.
We can see the
Right.
whole bowl now. That's kind of perfect.
Yep.
There, that'll do. Yep.
So going in with a purpose-made tool rest that I've had configured a few years ago.
Stainless steel.
It's stainless steel bar, 30mm bar, because I've got a 30mm post, and I've got a 30mm, or I've got an offset on the end welded on that's about 6 inches. So I can clean this down because it's well and truly oval and
Yep.
it's well and truly warped. So that gives me the opportunity. Oh, it has broken at long last. So, but no.
They don't last
Oh,
forever.
no lever. Oh dear.
It's plastic. It was iffy anyway, so I'll have to go down the other end. But I'm going to need to run this down to a bit of trueness to start with. So normal tools.
And whilst
Will
you're
be-
doing that, I'll
I
let
will
us
be-
know let you know who's in.
Be turning with my 3/4 inch US or 1/2 inch UK bowl gouge, and I can show you the profile of it on this slightly bigger one because I have a fairly swept back wing. Now I'm not sure. We were talking about this before we come on. We've got someone in the community here that turns from a chair. And the method I use for deflecting the shavings away by turning low would be the ideal way that the person, I'm not sure who it is, turns, because it deflects the shavings away from me. So if you were turning normally, you would be turning them into your lap as you sit in a chair. Now this is what the way Tony Wilson, the chair-bound turner, turns. So I know it works, but I can't remember who it was that is in a chair. So whether you want to put your name up or not, but I'm not forcing you to, I'm not asking you to, but it's a shear cut. It's a quiet cut. And it's just so much easier because I'm covering the camera, as you can see. It's putting the bevel on with it directly open and closing the bevel to get your cut. It's as simple as that. And basically I'm cutting at 45 degrees, so it's a shear cut. So over to one of the boys to read out who's in.
I'm not sure my mic's working. Can you hear
It
me?
is.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
you're working,
it is
Andy.
indeed, Andy. Yep.
After you, Brian, at
But
least I know I'm
I'll
working. Yeah.
yep. I'll read out the list from the participants panel, and then there's not very many on that. Well, according to this, we have got Mr. Barry Chitty.
Hello, Barry.
Chris Glambo. Chris the Spinning Wood Dodger. Some
Hi, Chris.
dodgy character called Keith. Circular Wood by Keith. No,
Don't
dodgy
trust
character.
him. Yeah.
David Eisenhower. Douglas Murham. Gerard the French turner. Our good friend Robert from Hodgepodge Works. Ian Leonard. James Cassidy. John S. Steve Jobbins. And the Linnekins is in.
Yeah. And I was
Linnekins
right.
has got a comment for you.
Yeah, I know. She's on the sofa.
Mike, you?
Yeah. Steve Jobbins is the chap that turns from a chair. So hopefully, Steve, you find this useful for you, because you can sit in the chair and you can throw everything away from you, and it is quite an easy cut. But the tool rest is at least an inch below level and center, or center. You can't really see it on that picture, but I'm at least an inch below, so that I can then cut nice and quietly, and I can get long shavings off rather than dust. And I think this is sycamore, but until we get the skin off it, I shan't know.
So according to this list, we have got 34 watching, but I didn't read out 34 names, so and there's a few there that's missed off that list. But we'll pick these up. If anybody I missed, I apologise. Stick a name in again, we'll give you a shout out. Linnekins has got a nice little comment there, Keith. I don't know if you've seen it or not. She says, Brian's workshop is so much cleaner than yours, Dad.
Yeah, well, you haven't been over to clean it recently.
I knew she would get the blame. And Hodgepodge has a comment for you. He says, or it's more a sort of question rather than a comment. He says, that's a long distance from the tool post. Are you not worried about the torque?
No.
It's such a long arm movement.
Nope.
It's a good thick post right enough. It's 30 mil. So the bar's 30 mil. How big is the post that goes into the banjo?
It's all 30 mil.
All 30 mil, yeah. It's
Yeah,
good
and
thick
it's a
post for
really
this.
heavy casting on there as well.
Yeah.
So, see if I can get this a little bit round.
Ian Leonard has appeared. Good evening, Ian.
And this is where this homemade tool rest comes in. I don't know whether you can see that very well. But I can work without moving too much. I can cut this down to size.
Excellent.
And get it true.
Mike Hughes in.
Good evening, gents and
Mike's
ladies.
back with his latte and sitting enjoying this live. Good morning, Mike. I hope it's just a plain ordinary latte, not a flavoured one.
James Crawford is in.
If it's flavoured, it wants to be Scotch flavoured.
Evening, James.
Hobby Turner from Fife.
Hobby Turner from Fife, did you say there, Andy?
Yep. What do you say?
I don't know how old this piece of... I think it's sycamore. Tastes like it. Is, but it's really dry.
Sounds dry.
Dry and dusty.
Yep, kind of looks like that as you're cutting it there. So Mike's having a nice Costa coffee. No advertising, please, Mike.
Well done, Gerard. He says he's just started a second attempt at the eccentric candlestick with a different design in the middle. So I should look forward to seeing that, Gerard.
Question from Steve Jobbins.
Right.
Keith, if I turn the gouge at an angle, wait a minute, I need to read this again, I think. If I turn with the gouge at that angle, the tool handle would be in my lap. Could you explain one more time? As I was 5 minutes late and missed the start.
Right, no problem. There you go. Let's do it with a bigger one. So you can see easier. Just need to go back a fraction. Right. The center is up here. And the distance between the center and the top of the tool rest is it's almost 1.5 inches now, so that I can drop the handle low and use the side wing. And this is a blunt chisel as well, but you can see how the shavings are coming off. Once I get this little bit off the end, I can get in a little bit closer with the tool rest.
Ruby Woodshed is in, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, everybody. So if you're sitting in your chair, Steve, you're turning off the left-hand side as you look at it, so that it should be just outside of the chair. Does over a foot between the end of the handle and my leg. But you probably wouldn't be turning quite such a big bit as what I'm turning tonight. You'll probably be sticking with up to about 12 inches.
Richard Phelan is in.
And if you can turn your head of your lathe, you will find it a lot easier to swivel it out. I'm out at about 15-20 degrees from parallel with the lathe bed to give me the chance. I can stand directly in line with it easily.
Good evening, Richard.
Let's see what.
What size of gouge was that you were using, Keith?
This is it's inch bar, so it's a 3/4 inch gouge. It looks like it. Well,
Steve has said, "Thanks, Keith. I understand now. I will try that cut."
Right.
Good man,
You
Steve.
can get quite a nice cut off of it. Not quite a finishing cut. Okay, so I've got a Brian appearing up here. Some cracks.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. But they should be okay. It's on both bits of end grain, but we can work through that, and it looks like very much like it is sycamore. From that, it's very bland. There's
Ooh, colour then maybe.
no character at all in there. So let's fire this up. So as I stand now, the only shavings I've got are 2 or 3 on my left arm. The rest of me is perfectly clear of shavings. So that's why I quite like this this cut.
So Mike is asking a question: is that a custom-made rest? And I think he said it was already.
Yes.
Because he says the record power extension is the most cumbersome thing.
Yeah, and so's the Axminster 2-piece one that comes with their lathe. You get the normal banjo, and then you've got another extension to go in the banjo, and then you put your tool rest in the end. Hard work. Sorry, guys, but yeah, it is hard work, that one. Right.
Steve Jobs is recommending we have a bit of colour this evening. In fact, he says colour, colour, colour.
We might do if I cut myself.
That's about the only chance, I think. We'll lighten up with some new oysters.
Yeah, they're not massively coloured oysters, but
Yeah, it has to be better than sycamore.
yeah. That's the shavings that are coming off quite easily with this cut, and it's a bearable noise as well.
Yep. Considering how dry it is, it's cutting pretty well.
Well, it's because it's a shearing cut.
Yep.
If I was just to do a conventional cut, I can still get shavings, but they're a lot finer which will be the final cut when I use that technique. Just need to get rid of some of this wood. It doesn't take long with a small chisel like this.
So Colin from Wood Wizardry is asking a question. Where is a good place to get 12-inch by 1-inch blanks? I want to make some platters and don't want to waste a lot of wood. I can't answer that for you because I'm in Northern Ireland.
Whereabouts? Who asked that question, or whereabouts?
Colin from Wood Wizardry.
So is that the Colin that comes from Croydon? I don't know. My memory's not as good as it could be, guys.
Jared, the French term is saying it's very awkward to look with this camera angle. I feel strange looking at the wood from underneath.
Well, I'll change it in a second. I just want to...
Colin,
it was more so that Steve could see, and you could all see the way and the height that I have the tool and the angle I have the tool.
It certainly shows that okay, no doubt.
As soon as I just undercut this rim a fraction, I'll go and turn the...
Colin says he comes from Kingston.
Kingston, yeah.
Not too far away.
No. Inch. Don't use Wests at Petworth. They're too expensive.
Paul Smith has joined us. Evening, Paul.
Hello, Paul.
I do quite a few platters, and I do find I like to have 1.5 inches to 2 inches of timber. Enough to give
Yeah,
you
I was going to say inch is a bit thin. You're not going to be paying a lot less per inch than you are for 1.5 inches.
And it only has to do what your sycamore's done, Keith.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
lose 1/2 inch thickness straight away.
Robert Dolman's in. Good evening, Robert.
Hello, Robert. Right, let's find a different camera.
And Wivey Wood says, Colin tried contacting the Home of Wood.
Yeah, that's the one down on the coast at Hastings, I believe. That's the one I was trying to remember when we were talking. Right. It's all right, it's only my heater, don't worry about it. You won't see it in a minute. I've just got to wake the mouse up to change the camera. What do I want? Let's try that one, number 2. I think you'll be able to see from this one.
Colin, send me a message with your contact details in Messenger or Facebook, and I'll put you in touch with somebody in Pulborough who does a lot of ash and oak.
Oh, of course, yes, your mate.
Yeah, it might just help. He's very cheap too.
Right. White.
Need a crane to lift that.
So
That's just what I was thinking.
That's the angle I've got on the end. So it's 12 inches between the centre of the post and the corner, and that's a 6-inch length there. And the post is actually too long, and it's got a burr on the bottom, which is why I have to fight to get it out. But that's stopping out now. We'll go back to traditional, conventional tool rest. I'll have to get a proper set of levers to do it now. Right.
Steve Jobbins is asking, is that tool rest for sale?
Which one? The bent one?
The one you just took off.
No, no, it wouldn't fit in yours. Can you guys see okay?
Yep.
I can.
As long as you keep your head up, we're okay.
I can move the camera a bit.
No saying your
fine.
prayers, Keith.
Say again, Andy.
No saying your prayers. Your head gets in the way.
Right.
Terry from TJ Turning has just arrived. He says, "Good evening, Keith and Brian." And
Hello, Terry.
I've been having tea.
Hello, Terry.
Tea?
So he doesn't have to stand in the corner yet because he's not half an hour late.
No.
All right,
Well, Welsh tea cakes, was it, Terry? Best quality sheep. Woolly backed.
whatever it was, Terry, I hope it was nice. Did I miss Doug Miller from Woodspin Road coming in?
No, not Doug. You'll be in trouble.
Hi, Doug.
It's too long ago, Brian. I can't remember now.
David Eisenhower has to go. Work calls. Have a great evening.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, David, for popping in.
And you can watch it tomorrow. It'll be on there, on the tubes. Right.
We're a real polite bunch in this wood cutting fraternity.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yep.
Got to be a little bit of Mickey taking.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Wondering whether I can get a little bit more volume out of this. And I can.
Must be getting fairly well balanced now.
Well, there's quite a lump out the other side because if you remember, it's there's 3/4, 5/8 of an inch on out of true, so it's still don't talk. It's still 5/8 of an inch out of true on the other side.
So David Deadman is in. Evening all, he says.
Hello, David. Nice to see that you're taking an interest in fellow club members, David. Thank you.
And Terry from TJ Turning said he had roast pork with all the trimmings. 'Twas handsome.
All right.
Actually says roast port, but
yeah, I think you meant pork though.
it's an interesting concept, though.
I was just ad-libbing a bit there.
I think he's probably had the port, and that's why you can't type
I
right.
can't spell it. Yeah.
Pork and pork.
Hi, Terry.
So for those of you that haven't realised, I'm actually turning with the lathe in reverse.
Yeah, we spotted that, Keith.
Yeah, I know. I don't know whether anyone else did or has.
Question from Douglas Munham for you, Keith.
Go on.
If you did not have a hollowing system, how would you hollow a 10-inch hollow form?
With something like this, big and brutal.
Yeah, bigger the better.
Carefully.
Yeah, a scaffold pole with a chisel stuck in the end, basically. Depending on the wood, and depending what you're looking at making the hollow form into, would be another question that would come into play.
Tommy's workshop. I'll say that again. Oh, breaking his teeth in for a horse. Tommy's
Yeah.
workshop has just appeared. Good evening, Keith, Brian, and Andy.
Evening,
Hello,
Tommy. Right, and see if I can get a finishing cut off of this. There's something in there that went clunk. So I don't know whether it was a little knot or something. Now there's some fair old shakes in here where it's
Bit of a-
dried.
Bit of a split.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Character.
yeah, it's
It's not there. Just,
there's a little knot just there.
yeah, I thought I seen that going by there.
Yeah, but and there's another little knot down there. It'll be fairly nice in colour, but let's see if I can get a bit more of a finish on this. Work my way round. But when you hear something like I did, then it's always worth stopping just to see what you might have uncovered.
Wendy from Coonfish Crafts is in.
Hello,
Evening,
Wendy.
everyone, she says.
Hello, Wendy.
It's not the first time I've inadvertently uncovered a nail
Yeah.
or a piece of barbed wire or even some lead shot. So just bear it in mind that you do as much turning with your ears as you do with your vision.
All these little tips and tricks about listening and things come with experience, obviously.
Come with experience and practice.
Yep.
And the experience and practice go hand in hand. This hand is just here to stop the tool moving. I'm not using it to push it at all. I'm literally driving it on the bevel, but I don't want too heavy a bevel rub on this cut, so I'm just easing it round. I'm trying to get a cut so that I don't need to get the 60 grit out to start with. Right,
So Douglas Moyam has said, Keith, I have a 5/8 inch bowl gouge, and it's you. I think it means the handle's you.
I hope
No,
so.
I think he wants to turn you.
Oh,
that
the hollow form, yeah.
That's not too bad a finish off the tool. But,
You're so nice to turn. I think you'd probably get away with that. Carefully.
How big a piece of you is it?
They said 10
Douglas.
inches, wasn't it? I think.
yes, I
Okay.
can remember sort of 10 inches.
Yeah,
Being
10 inches
mentioned.
rings a bell, yeah.
Oh yeah, 10-inch hollow form, yeah. He did indeed.
I'm trying to make this slightly hollow. I'm not standing in the line of fire, but not while I'm turning.
Oh, we need to change the camera just a little bit there, Keith, because you're on the other side of the bowl now. We can't see it. You lift the camera up. There we go. That's the job.
Douglas
And Douglas has said it's 10 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches.
and it's
Goodness.
wet.
Oh, He was on about this earlier on, wasn't
Yeah.
he?
It's wet as well, which helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason I've turned it so I'm turning conventionally is because I'm using my dovetail making chisel, and it only cuts from on the conventional side. No, I'm too low to be able to catch
Question
the
there
pit.
for you, Andy.
Yeah, Stephen Jobbins has come back about the tool post again. I have the old Green Record Power CL4. I think it's 3/4 inch tool post diameter. Would that tool rest Keith has be strong enough if I had one made? Not in 3/4 inch steel, no.
No, and I think you're 5/8 as well.
It's more likely to be 5/8, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
16 mil, isn't it? I think it's a technical one.
There you go. I did just catch it.
Good job. I take it the casting on that said the CL4 on the banjo might not be strong enough either.
That's right, absolutely. Yes, because they have a limited strength, don't they?
Yep.
He used his Simon Hope 8mm carbide to hollow his hollow forms, but they're only between 2 and 3 inches deep. You can go quite a bit deeper than that with the Simon Hope carbide. I've not actually tried going that deep, so I'm not the person to speak to. I tend to do more spindle work than, although I'm doing a platter on Tuesday, I think. Terry says, Douglas, I would cut it in half and make 2 5-inch deep bowls. That's another way around it.
Ben Jumming is asking, what's with the green tape, Keith?
What sort?
What's with the green tape round your gouge?
Oh, well, that's when I do craft shows, and when we used to work down the museum, there used to be 6 or 8 of us turning. So the easiest way to work out whose tools are whose is to we all put different colour insulation tape on them. So as my surname's Greenfield, I said, sod it, I'm having green. So that's the only reason that tape's on there. Just so that we could quickly go round, because when we first started it, we had one guy on there said, you've got my chisel. No, I haven't, that's mine. No, it's definitely mine. And one of the guys lost a chisel out of it because this other guy was adamant that it was his. He put it in his toolbox, and it wasn't until he'd gone that we realised, and he wouldn't give it back. So I said, well, the easiest thing is if we all mark our tools, rather than trying to engrave your initials on them or put a paint on them, it was just as easy to put a bit of tape around it, because I think there's 12 different colours you can get in insulation tape. So that's quite a nice mortise on there. A really crap finish on the bottom there, though. So let's see if I can get a little bit better on that.
We've got 48 in watching.
Welcome, guys, and thank you very much. I'm probably turning this faster than I normally would speed-wise because of the out of balance. It's actually bringing it into balance, going faster. There's quite a knock just on the edge there, I can hear. I can't afford to take too much off of there. Let's see how we look. I've still got to go a fraction deeper to clear the edge. Right, that will clear it. At the moment I'm about 3 mil deep. Through this size I want 5 mil. So there's a healthy 5 mil foot on the bottom there now. Yeah, going back to the conversation with Douglas just now, I think I would probably cut it in half and make 2 bowls out of it, or 2 hollow forms, smaller hollow forms. You're not doing yourself any favour by keeping them that big and only just getting a little bit of a hollowing into them. So I think it would probably be more beneficial and cost effective to make 2 out of it.
Yeah, he said he's looking at a 9.5-inch hollow form. Well, that's you need
Yes.
very hefty tools to do that.
For 9.5 inches deep, you need something in the region of 2 foot long minimum to get the stability, and also you're going to want sort of 3/4 inch bar on it as well. So if you've got those, yes, go for it.
Scaffold tube would do it, as you say.
Yeah, scaffold tube would do it. I think I'm going to see if I can swap over to a different camera to see if that gives you a slightly better view. So, wake up the mouse, and behind is number
Got a
3.
question from Gerard while you're off camera.
Okay.
You can still hear, can't you?
Yeah, I can still hear.
It says, Keith, will you redo one day about how to do a donut chuck? If you don't mind,
Yes.
and if you have nothing better to do. Cheers.
Yeah, that's no problem. That was going to be one of the demos that was up and coming.
Good.
In the future. All right.
Keith, do you mind if I put in the link to the Virtual Craft Festival?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, go ahead, mate. It's not a problem.
I knew you would say that.
My angle grinder, angle drill. Not an angle grinder, it's an angle drill. Variable speed. Drop the speed down. Got dust extraction running. Don't know what that was. It possibly my phone just told me it's died.
Mine just told me that you'd started turning.
Oh, right. Right, let's put that out of the way. Right. Too fast.
Paul Smith is in.
Hello, Paul.
Barry's in the shed has just said, sorry, I'm late, been out all day today.
Poor excuse, but I suppose we'll accept it.
Well, I think we'll probably have to, yeah. Melvin Rollins says, man, I would love to get at that wood rack behind you.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of people commenting on that wood rack.
Tell him, Andy, how much have I got outside?
A great deal more than that. Yeah, I had a few pieces from that rack, in fact, the other day, but yes, you've got a lot of timber around you, haven't you?
Yes. but nothing massively big. If anyone's interested in wooden pen blanks, they're about 20 to 22 mil square, 5 and a bit long, nearly 6 some of them, depending how generous I felt at the time. I have a good selection of, well, particularly you. I must have about 4,000 blanks in the way of you.
You just live too far away, Keith.
Yeah, but I can post them.
Oh, that's
all
true.
I'm going to say is, if you can cover the postage and maybe a bottle of beer in there for me, depending how many you want. I've just got rings around here that I need to shift. Drop me a message. There's more there than I shall ever use.
TJ Turning, Terry, has just worked out that you would need approximately 3.5 to 4 feet behind the tool rest to control the cut of that deep. Could be pricey unless you're doing a lot of it. Still talking to Douglas.
That's almost acceptable. Just got a little ring round the bottom of the foot, and the problem is it's on the hard end grain. The soft parallel grain is okay. This is never going to be a masterpiece, but we can make it respectable, I think. So I'm on 80 grit at the moment. And I'm letting the paper do the cutting. There was a question the other day on someone else's live. Still got a mark just there. What speed should you be running? It's down to what you're using. It's down to the paper. I've got more power in this than a little 12, 18 volt cordless drill. But I'm letting the paper do the work. So I'm quite happy with that now. It is definitely sycamore, and it's very close grain, so it's been a long time growing. So we go over to 120. Another insight for you guys. Most of you are turning 6-inch, 7-inch blanks, and that's 8-inch in the middle there. So if you're turning 8-inch blanks, that is about 25, 26 inches radius around, or length around the outside, whatever that is. It's not radius, is it?
Circumference.
Circumference, yeah. So I'm turning 18-inch. So that is
an awful lot.
Yeah, biggest part of 5 foot round there.
It's an awful lot.
Yeah, biggest part of 5 foot.
Is that a technical term, Andy?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the peripheral speed of 18 inches is a hell of a lot more. That's 5 foot, shall we say, a minute, as compared to 2 foot a minute there. and in the middle, where it's only sort of 2 inches, 2¼ inches, that's a lot less still. So the bigger the bowl, the faster the wood is moving on the outside. So for me to sand this outside edge, I've dropped the speed right down. To sand the middle, I would turn it up a fraction. And actually, if I was turning the middle, I would be turning faster than when I turn the outside. If that makes sense to you guys.
It does indeed.
If it doesn't, I know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's good. Robert Lapsley has joined us.
Hello, Robert. Let's see what that looks like. Almost respectable. So we'll go on to the 240.
Doesn't look bad from here.
No, you can't feel the roughness of it from there, can you?
Nope.
No.
No, in fact, it feels almost like glass.
Yeah, doesn't look like it. So we're on to 240 now. I've got a 400 set up. We have, but some reject paper in it. There's a new bit. Don't normally go as far as 400, but I think it's going to be easier than Yorkshire gritting it with these hollows on the back. See what the inside's like. There's quite a lot of gaps on there and shakes. So I'm up to 400. That will do that. That's enough of that noise.
Pete from Twisted Trees is in.
Hello, Twisted Pete. Just, cellulose sanding sealer, so we use that. All of a sudden, there's some grain on it.
Can't see it from this angle,
No.
unfortunately.
I see that bit.
Yeah, it's just on this edge here.
It's amazing what you find, though, isn't it, when you start applying that?
Yeah. Yeah, all of a sudden it comes to life. So while that's flashing off, and the extractor's pulling the crap out, I still have some bandsaw blades that I need to dispose of. Now I'm only looking at basically postage and maybe a little donation as well. I have 53.5, 56 1/8, and 112 inches. If anyone's got any of those and they want to message me, there's quite a few of the what are they? 56 and 1/8. I've got quite a few of those. So it looks like they were a record bandsaw at one time.
I'd have to join two together to fit mine. So.
Yeah, that's the problem with mine. But they're in a package that I cleared a workshop for an old Turner, and they were all there. So if you want it, take it. If you don't want it, it's going in the bin. So it'd be rude to put it in the bin. So
Adam from I Love Wood Turning's in. Good evening, Adam.
Right.
Good evening, Adam.
Swing this round. Which one you on? You're on that one.
That's the one.
That one.
No, there's a bit bigger than that. There's a bit of
That's
nice.
what it looks like at the moment. Yeah, but there's a lot of
void from in there.
A lot of voids in there where it's been dried, and the same at this end. So what I should do is I should spray cellulose on that. So the normal way I put these on is to put them on, just pinch up the jaws to them so that you can still twist the bowl. Come on, grip. Looks like I cut that a bit big. And then once it's gripped, gently ease it round and tighten it a fraction each time until you've done a complete circuit on there. Tighten it up. And seeing that it's a mortise, I can go fairly heavy on the key. What that's done is it's cleaned out if there was any crap in the mortise. So that should now, which it does, run absolutely true. Not so much on sycamore, but on some woods, elm, ash, you can get a lot of hairy grain. So, come on. That's it. So the only way, unless you can get in there with a sand and then you destroy the shape that you put in, so to get over that, it's easier to put it on and use the jaws as a reamer because they're the right angle. Let me see if I can go on the overhead and give you guys a better shot. That's not brilliant.
So Robert Lapsley asked a question: does wood glue work on top of sanding sealer? And Pete from Twisted Trees answered, and not very well. Best to sand it and glue the joint and let the glue do its work. Obviously, if you're using sanding sealer, it kind of seals the grain of the wood a bit, so it wouldn't allow the glue to get into the wood as far. I certainly wouldn't use sanding sealer when I'm gluing a joint.
James Cassidy's just off to a family Zoom meeting. Bye, James.
Bye, James.
Bye, James.
Thanks for coming in. Right. What's that like, guys? I should be cutting quite a bit this side. Gives you a bit more of a wide view. Now, I haven't got a lot of meat just there. There's only about that much. And if you know how much that much is,
not a lot.
It's not a lot. I would say somewhere around.
Technical term.
Yeah. I would say somewhere around about 5/16 of an inch. No, actual fact, there's a good ½ inch there. But there, it's only 3/8 of an inch. So that's how much the blank's out. So I haven't got a lot. I don't know whether you guys have seen these. I think it was Axminster at one time. Go that way.
Yep.
You can read off.
That's it there. That's you. You're in the right place now, Keith.
Yeah, you can read off the markings. So I'm trying to get it in the light so you can see it.
Yep, towards you a little bit. That's it. Perfect.
Nothing metric about that then.
Nothing metric at all. So if I've got that gap, that end, I know that's an inch. They're quite good. I thought they would be a bit of a gimmick. You can actually put a nail or a pin through the holes to hold them in the right place if necessary. I don't find it's worth doing that. Another little gimmicky thing that works. Right, let's true this upper fraction. Let's get a bit of speed into it. Go for a sharp chisel. We'll use that one. So I'm back on the 1/2 inch. A bit more volume if I can. That's it. Got over the rattle and the shake of it. Just on the hour then, guys.
We are indeed, Keith.
Well, there's no one after me tonight because Rich isn't doing his invade. So I will probably run on until I get to a position to make this easier for next week, which will be part 2.
You have competition, in fact, that Emma, the Tiny Turner, is doing live for her group members.
Yeah, I'm one of them as well.
So am I.
Yeah, me too.
But it'll be on there for some time. It's just that you won't be in the live, or I won't be in the live.
Yeah. That's it.
I suspect that's why we've got 49 here. It would normally be a bit higher than that.
I suspect.
Just had the reminder of you,
that's
Andy.
the reason as well, Andy.
No, that came earlier.
Another bag full of shavings tomorrow. Doesn't take long for them to build up.
No.
I cleaned this workshop last year. And now I can hardly walk from one end to the other.
It's cleaned up once a year, whether it needs it or not.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be overdoing things.
Well, I have to say that I clean my workshop after every turning.
I'm tending to, yeah, mostly.
Right, so I'm still not down to red there.
No.
Bit thinner.
It's quite a long way out, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, anyone can turn true pieces, can't they?
Yep.
It's worth putting something like this on here so that you guys can see how I don't talk, get over the issues of being out of true. So it gives you a bit more of a chance when, should you ever get anything as bad as what this was. You can see how I've done it so that you've got an indication as to what you want to do. So hopefully I'm solving your problems that you're not likely to have now. That's it, I think. You notice I'm using a push cut all the time. Not the proverbial, we'll just pull that out through. Because you've still got to tidy up after that. So the inch round the edge is pretty good as a finished cut, and there's actually some sporting just there. You can just see it on the camera.
Yeah, indeed, yep.
But, I need to true this up now into round, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. So bear with me, guys.
Florida, the bearded woodworker has arrived. Good evening, Florida.
Good evening. We won't be rude and ask you what time do you call this.
But you just asked it, yeah.
But you did anyway.
I will anyway. I'm going to go a fraction higher than what we were before, so I'm just about centre, so I can take a bit off the end.
Florida has just replied. He says it's 3:35, Keith.
Oh, you're early. Against the rest of them, then.
Yeah, it's just a time difference thing.
Yeah. It's the best I can do. I can see what I'm doing, even if you can't, guys. I'm sorry for a minute. All I'm doing is just screwing up the outside so that we're running totally round, and I think I've got it there.
Looks good.
Yep, we could see it anyway, Keith.
You could hear it now. I've got a little. Do I want to? Not really. I think I'll radius that. So while I've got this in, we'll work from the conventional side for a moment.
Can you centralise the camera a bit? Okay. You're right in one corner of the picture. Towards the head a bit, if you can.
Push the camera away from you a little bit.
That was a good idea of mine, wasn't it? That's better. That's much better.
It's all jerry-rigged this end. It's all on plumbing.
Seems appropriate.
Well, that's what I thought. So I'm going to... I'm going to have to come in a bit before I can. Right, that's better. That's better. Should all make sense in a minute.
The chat's very quiet this evening.
Yeah, they're all concentrating.
Either that or it's frozen, one or the other. No, YouTube is at the same time.
A good lady wife just appeared at my office door there and handed me a tin of sustenance.
Oh, that must be nice. I can see my wife sitting in my office, but she's on a Zoom meeting at the moment. Oh, no, she must have just finished. Hey ho.
I'm trying to get the inside to mimic the outside. You see how that is fully closed there. That's the flute fully closed. I'm opening it a fraction to get a nice fine cut. So in relation to the clock face, I'm open at about 10 past. That's better.
So have you got enough thickness there to get your oysters in?
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling for. I don't want too much. Yeah, just enough there. So.
Good.
The way I always leave the faceplate ring on. It's only a ring, so there's not a lot of weight there. If I should have an oops moment, I can at least remount it. We've all had those oops moments. So you'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes.
No,
Yeah.
I've no idea.
Believe that, you'll believe anything.
Yeah. Quite happy with that. So what I need is to mark up the width I'm going to cut. So I've already preset these little dividers to what I want. So drop the volume right down. There's a pencil mark on there somewhere. Catch it when it comes round. That's the diameter that I need to hollow out. So where did you put the parting tool, Brian?
It's behind you.
I'll use this one. It wasn't. It was down the side.
It's behind you, Keith.
No.
It's always behind you, Keith.
Yeah. There's too much overhang. We have.
I'm glad your hip is feeling much better. Florida. Hopefully we'll be back at the lake shortly. And you're probably right, Doug. Yep. Liar is right.
It's not just where I don't want it not to be, I think. No. No, but I've got some really horrible grain there. So have I gone too wide? Yes, I have. Marginally. We can get over that. So, what's the saying? Don't use a spindle gouge on a bowl.
Wouldn't dream of it.
No, right. It's got a sharper point. It's ground exactly the same angle as my bowl gouges, but it just gives me a little bit more chance to get in there. So I'm going to be swapping between several tools. To get to the depth I want. Check. I can afford to be a margin wider. So it's about 2 mil deep at the moment. So I can get in there, go back to a bowl gouge.
Well, good friend Florida is avoiding his workshop while he's on pain meds. It's never a good idea. Alcohol and drugs, never a good idea in the workshop.
Real simple things, is it?
Hello, Baz. You did say rules, yeah.
Yes,
See it up there, evening all, yeah.
It suddenly jumped.
Did I?
Been doing nothing
Didn't we
for
get that
ages.
through you this evening? Ooh. So Florida's getting a bit of a windfall, he says, from the president, Mr. Biden. He says, can we say Sorby Pro Edge and some new Sorby tools? Very nice.
Now the cardinal sin, I'm going to cut uphill just for a little bit. Or at least try to. I'm not looking for a finished cut on this because we're going to fill that trench up with some oysters, but I do need to go deeper down this end. So grabby. Yeah, it's a bit grabby.
Didn't see that at all.
No,
He lied.
didn't happen.
There's someone in there, I didn't see it. I must have missed it. The floor is going to have to get away from carbide. You guys make the traditional tools look so easy.
Yeah, it's better to use proper tools. I mean, traditional tools.
Right. The only reason I was using that is because it's 3/8 square. And I've got a reasonable overhang. I can see why it was catching just there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You can see.
Yep.
You can't, but take my word for it, there's a shake there that goes all the way through that it was catching on. So, and I've got a lot of overhang, and to reconfigure this lot is going to be a bit of a pain. So we're muddled through. I did say I was going to be using a selection of tools. Back to the spindle gouge.
L'Atelier de Leo is in. Bonsoir, Larnell.
Hello, young man. I'm guessing it's a young man because it looks like a... Oh no, it's my eyes.
Yeah, it looks like a piece of paper. I don't know what it is.
Looks like a piece of paper to me too. I don't know what you're looking at.
Right.
But it's Lionel, that's just a boy's name, so that's all right.
Let me just plug this in. Give it a chance to start steaming. Beauty of this, it can hang there. Right.
Steve Jobs just made a comment there. He says, loads of people seem to be turning to the Pro Edge, but nobody seems to be selling Wolverine jigs.
Can afford to be a margin deeper.
Yeah, I'm on Tormec myself, so
Pro Edge for me, absolutely.
I'm tempted to go to Pro Edge, but I can't afford it at the moment. So
No, it's quite an investment. I've got
well,
to...
just not selling anything at the moment until this stupidity's all gone past, and we can start having our village markets again. We've got one in April coming up apparently,
Right.
but because I've hardly sold, haven't sold anything since Christmas.
So Douglas, think your sound has gone very quiet, Andy?
Yeah, my headset went just before. I can't get it to Bluetooth to the computer, so I'm on an old headset, which is plug-in one, and it is quiet. I had a little go before we started. I've got it as loud as I can get it.
It's actually working okay there, just right this very minute.
I've moved it a bit close to my mouth.
That's what it is then. That's.
And how's your French, Brian?
French.
Gerard says, "Tu n'es pas encore au lit." I think it means you haven't gone to bed yet.
I have no idea.
I think that's what
Nor
it means.
have I.
My schoolboy French.
Didn't even do French.
Yeah, we did French. Well, at least that's what the teachers used to call it. I don't know. No idea about French. I have enough trouble with English, guys.
There's something about going to the workshop and making some flowers, I think. I'm struggling now. Is going. We'll watch the rest tomorrow.
So Baz doesn't know who the new voice is.
No, he can keep guessing, can't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He should have been here earlier.
Should have been here on Tuesday, shouldn't he?
Yeah, should have been here at the start.
Absolutely. It's Andy H. Andy Heath. And is for turning.
Andy H is for turning.
I'm going to have to explain that sometime. I know that the capital is. For those of you who remember Maggie Thatcher when she was Prime Minister will get the reference.
Yes. I get it, if no
Good.
one else does.
Oh, Gerard said it's a good translation. So
Oh, there you go.
He's
Oh,
obviously
crap.
been drinking then. Right. So I've gone about 4 mil deep there. These are 8 mil thick. So I want them to sit in there. So let's have a bit of a tidy up. Who said that? No, just declutter a bit.
Thank you, Stephen.
He's absolutely right. Yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous, Andy, I have to say.
They're quite fun. They do sell well as well. People just like something different, I think.
A little bit quirky.
Yeah.
Right, let's turn the big sucker off. That's good.
I'm not sure where Florida is going with this French thing. He says, oh, and I've mastered the kiss.
Yeah.
LOL.
Something to do with his schoolboy French, isn't it? I'm not
I
quite
think
sure where that comes in.
I'm not sure either.
I don't want to get involved in this.
Yeah.
Listen and repeat. That's all I have for 2 years of French. Laugh out loud. Was his earlier comment.
Yeah. I think I had one French lesson at school.
There's one more than what I had then.
I did it. I was never very good at it, but I've since had holidays in France on a regular basis, and it's come in very handy. The little bit I could remember.
It will do.
So I was surprised. Never thought I'd use it.
So the French are not very good at using English either. They don't.
They don't tend to want to, do they?
No, absolutely not. And rightly so. It's their country.
Yeah, in restaurants they're quite good. They usually try and talk to you in English then because they're selling you things.
That's
yeah,
exactly
because they're after your money.
Absolutely.
Right. So what have we got then? I've got.
You'll need to move the camera again if you're staying where you are.
Just about to.
There's buddy.
Can't do it one-handed.
It's too late. I'm nearly getting that one, Gerard, but not quite.
Let's see if I can slide it along.
The time that he's home.
I have great respect for people who can speak more than one language.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I can speak gibberish quite well. I've got ologies in that.
I can speak gobbledygook sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the little babies that I'm going to be putting in. I'm not going to go all the way round tonight because I don't want to bore you too much. But last time I used a tube of builder's glue, for want of a better phrase, which took a fair time to go off. So tonight, for your very eyes only, I'm using hot melt glue. So it's a matter of squeezing some in,
Squish.
dropping your piece in, and putting another loop on there, and working round. So, a bit mean. So I'm setting these at a bit of an angle rather than set them in
Looks better.
directly in line. I must admit, this is going quite well until I get that one that doesn't want to fit. It's a different sort. A bit more in there.
It's a good way to use up little bits of branch, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and particularly you, branch, because you've got the colour to it. Although this isn't overly
Not
coloured.
that distinct, is it? But it's still there.
No, it will be once there's some.
So once it's finished.
Yes, yeah. Once it's got some finish on it, it will be.
Oh, Lionel. Saturday we will teach the English rugby team some French tricks. Ah,
I doubt
fighting.
it.
That's fighting talk, I think.
What language was that in?
Oh, that was in English.
Ah,
I'm not going to get involved in that one, Gerard.
He wants to get his point across there.
Yeah. He says, Andy, you know that historically France and England have been enemies for centuries. Yeah, I'll go along with that.
Yeah.
They say that we killed Joan of Arc and Napoleon.
Probably true. And don't forget, Gerard, that Scotland and France are the old alliance.
Yeah, we don't like them either.
Yeah, we noticed.
Who said that? Who said that?
yeah.
No.
We had a common enemy at the time.
Yes, yeah. It's always been a sort of love-hate relationship with the French, hasn't it? It's an interesting one. I like the French, to be honest, but it's always been a strange relationship between Britain and France.
Well, if you have 100 years war, it kind of spoils the history a wee bit, doesn't it?
It gets a bit boring, really, doesn't it? Except it didn't last 100 years, did it? But
No.
But hey, we're not going to nitpick.
Not tonight.
Oh, Florida. I know the French saved their American asses. Oh dear.
I'm not going to get political. I absolutely refuse.
Yeah.
No, me too. Don't do political or religion.
I wasn't going to go all the way around, but I think I am now.
Oh, you're flying. You're flying.
They're
Keep up.
going in. Yeah, they're going in well.
I want to see what you do when the last one won't fit.
Well, the last one to fit.
You reckon?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Oh,
the secret
Jared
now
just
is
popped in and
that,
said, don't forget the Irish as well.
No, we would. No.
spot on.
Oh, couldn't be that lucky.
So while you've got a gap,
Got the right number.
For-
Haven't
3 or 4 spaces, you just double check to make sure.
I'm impressed.
That last one does go in.
Yeah,
So am I.
impressed. Yeah.
So am I.
That's absolutely spot on, isn't it?
I know. Yeah,
I
I've got a few spares.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think you've got them numbered on the bottom. You had to have done earlier.
Yeah, you've been practicing.
Yeah, let's just hang that somewhere so it dribbles well away from what I want to do.
Yeah, they do tend to dribble a bit, don't they?
Yeah. So
Keith will be used to that, though.
So we're going to fill that, or we're going to attempt to fill it. Was it 3 minutes past 9?
Yep.
With milliput. Which way do you guys want it? That way or that way?
That way. That's it.
Whichever way you want it, it's still milliput.
Yep.
Milliput comes in 2 tubes. This is terracotta, so it should come up that colour. I don't know why. Oh, that's because it's in blue plastic. That's
Blue
why.
plastic.
So that is probably going to be
Wait.
a white.
Be white.
They do suggest you put gloves on, and I think that is not a bad idea because it does stick to you. So I've got these 5-finger condoms that seem to work quite well.
Oh, Jared, you and I could fall out now.
Got bragging rights going on here.
Yeah.
Internationally. America.
This will only hurt
France.
the first few inches.
This is
worry
what rugby
about
does. This is what rugby does.
Yeah, yeah, I can't be doing with it. I like
This
I
isn't
love
a
rubber.
sports program, guys. If you want to air
It
your
is-
differences, take him outside.
It is in the chat.
Right, there's bits and pieces you're not going to see a lot of at the moment because I don't think I can move that up too far. I might be able to see a bit. I'm cutting the ends of the tubes off, the plastic bags off, which is white. So you want equal amounts of both, of each.
Florida bearded woodworker says, "Doctor."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, like I said, it only hurts for the first 4 inches in,
Oh, that's all
apparently.
right then.
So that's the white, and the other part of the
I'm not
equation.
sure how you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you know that, Keith.
Well, so I'm told. My mate works in the.
yeah.
He's the blue light turner, and I've
All
got some
right. Yeah.
blue gloves of his. So measure off the same amount. Now,
They look
this is the
purple.
boring bit.
Lovely shade of lilac. Those gloves, I think.
Yeah.
Mixity.
They were free.
Okay. Who
So
cares what
now
colour they
you've
are?
got to. Now you've got to mix it up. And Andy, tell him how long.
7 minutes, wasn't it?
No,
7 minutes. Yep.
5
No.
minutes.
5
No.
minutes for the
Fi-
colours,
5 minutes for that. 7 minutes for the.
7 minutes
for
for
the
the
white.
white,
That's it.
but we're not using white.
No, just because I happen to have some white here. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm looking at the wrong
it was a
box.
discussion we had before we went live, when we were talking about what was going to happen tonight. Now, to be honest, this is a bloody nightmare with gloves on.
It is, eh?
It's sticking
Sure,
to your
not
gloves,
much.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to say that. It just sticks to the gloves.
You could always cut the fingers off them.
yeah.
That's helpful, Andy.
If either of you guys are looking for a job, do you want to pop in and mix this up for me?
No thanks.
I think you'd have it done by the time I got there.
You're all right, Gerard. It was the comment at the end you said for once that kind of upset me a wee bit. But you're right. It is for once. Yeah. That's rugby talk again, guys.
Oh, right. Okay.
Just while you're mixing Milliput, it's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. You talk
Well,
amongst yourselves. Yeah.
Talk
Talk
amongst
amongst yourselves.
yourselves.
There's 46 of you still watching me, so
There
that's what
Yeah.
astounding. Watching me
46
mix up Milliput. Now,
46 grown men watching Milliput.
you've got to mix it because you can see the white
Yeah.
against the terracotta. So you've got to thoroughly mix it. I might end up mixing this without the gloves on.
Stephen Jobbins is taking bets that Keith hasn't mixed enough.
I haven't.
That's this,
And
But I
Florida
didn't want to
bearded,
mix the whole lot.
Florida bearded
Chew it.
woodworker says chew it together and spit it back in your hand.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's easier without gloves on.
Yeah.
that's
It's
much
actually- it's
easier.
actually
Yeah.
Going quite quickly now, isn't it? The
Yeah.
white bit, yeah.
Yeah. It's all right once you get some heat into it.
So how long have I been mixing this, Andy? Your time in it?
Oh no, I'm not. But
3 minutes.
you've probably done 3 minutes. I'll
Yeah.
I'll give you another minute and a half. Go on.
Let's take me
That'll be-
these glasses off. I don't need them on
That'll
for
be
what
10
I'm doing.
10 past
If it
9
ends
on
up
my watch.
if it ends up all the one colour, you'll be fine.
It is basically all one colour.
Yeah, and I was
Now-
going to say you're pretty much there, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's the way I do it. Roll it with my fingers and then squish it back, fold it back in half again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Switch it together. Yeah.
But it didn't want to play ball when I first started that. So,
Gerard,
Jared asked a question.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead, Andy.
is hot glue as good as tight bond glue for this purpose? I've never
Yes.
used tight bond glue, so I don't know.
because hot mount glue dries almost immediately, whereas tight
Yeah.
bond, you've got, look at that, state of my fingers now.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It washes off your grant.
Yeah, after about 3 weeks.
No. You'll be fine.
So
They'll be grand by Wednesday.
So I'm using a filling
Could-
knife.
Could you drop the camera just a little bit so as we can see what you're actually doing now?
Yeah, because we get a fine view of your hat.
There we go. Oh,
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
Perfect.
So I'm using a filling knife here,
Sorry, hot
commonly
point,
called a lino knife.
tight bond
commonly-
glue. Do we know
Yeah.
anything about it?
Yeah, it's a wood glue.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What
Um,
sort of
I tried
PVA
one,
or
yeah.
something?
but
It's a
it's
PVA
probably,
based glue, I think.
yeah, it's going to be imperfect. I'll be perfectly honest. It's going to be too thin for gluing rough wood together. You
Right.
could get away with it if it was an expanding foam glue, but you'd have hell of a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last time I used stick saw, he said, spitting all over the place, stick saw out of a tube.
Uh-huh.
And the problem with that is it takes a little bit of time to go off.
And the hot melt glue is almost instant, isn't it?
Yeah, by the time I'd got to back round to where I started,
Yeah, they've gone off. Yeah.
it had gone off.
That's the big advantage of it, Gerard.
Mm.
Is that it does. Well, as soon as it cools down, it's gone. That's it.
So the longest bit is actually this.
Yeah.
So that's why I only mixed up half of it.
Yeah.
Because I knew I'd get peed off with it.
A little
You
bit
boys
of
wouldn't want to sit there watching me.
Flora's giving you a good bit of advice there.
I was
Yeah.
just going to say the same thing. Yeah.
He says, don't pick your nose now.
Well, there's no good. You could pick it, but you wouldn't be able to flick it very far. It would certainly stick to your fingers now.
Yeah, right.
And everything else. So
I hope the Linnekins is not still here.
She's been very quiet. If she is.
She has, yeah.
probably gone
Not
to
like
sleep
her.
on the settee.
It's not. Aye, she was on the sofa right enough. She's fell asleep.
Yeah. She's been working all day. Well,
That's no
Apparently.
excuse.
apparently.
I'll have to give her some abuse the next time she comes in, falling asleep.
I can't remember what that's like working all day now.
Yeah, I'm
I
starting
love-
to think like that myself.
I love
Andy.
retirement. It's absolute magic. I don't know why
Yeah.
I didn't do it a long time ago.
Oh no, she's still here. Hey, she didn't fall asleep.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. Yep.
Yeah, is Kenny sitting there with you? Or have you got Molly on the settee with you this time? Sofa, whatever.
She's not
I
working
think it Molly's.
tomorrow.
I think it Molly's the dog or the cat.
Molly's the dog.
Yeah.
Staffy.
Douglas
And she's-
Mungham's stirring things up, Keith. He says, "Have you tried resin?
That's,
Like the blue paper and touch paper and stand well clear."
I'm surprised nobody mentioned Starbond.
I am, because of the price of it. And you still need time to go off. But I
Yeah.
will possibly use a CA finish on this. Starbond's good for finishing things like this.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently so.
It says on the
Is that
on
nearly
the
flip?
paperwork. Yeah, it says on the
It does,
paperwork
yeah.
can
Yeah.
can be used as a finish.
Can't believe everything you read.
I can.
All right then.
I get a good finish on it on pens.
Yeah, I just got too many bits of paper stuck to it. I was fiddling around with it too much.
I'll have to show you the secret then, because I use it on pens and I also use it on the cord balls.
Yeah, I use melamine and I'm very happy with it.
I've found that when I first started, I tried it and it didn't hold the finish long enough for me. Whereas I've got cord pulls, a couple indoors that have been up at least 2 years, and you'd think they'd come straight off the lathe and been finished, and they're in super glue and buffed up, and then with
Okay.
a very light coat of Canubral on the top.
I buff them up with Carnauba, and I find that gives a really lovely finish to almost anything, regardless of what you put underneath it.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Canubra doesn't always last because you've got too much on there, because it's a wax, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I don't put much on. I'm too
No.
tight for that. I've had the same stick since I started.
Too tight for that.
Yeah, 50 odd years ago.
Let's not be silly about it.
Yeah.
Don't use too much. Goodness sake.
And Gerard says, 5 question marks. Are you going to use another colour on the other side?
No,
No.
I'm going to use the same brown, but it's taking this long to get this far. It's making me wrist ache. So that'll be done
So-
perhaps tomorrow.
This could be a 3-parter.
No, it'll only be a two-parter.
Oh,
So
Guy
Don't-
Prouton.
finishing.
Good
Di
evening,
Prout's in,
Guy.
yeah.
Who's that?
Di
Guy.
Prout.
Oh, Di. Hello, Di. Welcome to the funny farm. Well, it certainly sounds like it tonight. As long as we're having a laugh.
Yeah, and we've got past the international war stage.
Yeah,
So that's all
yep.
right.
Oh, it wasn't much of a war. It was more of a skirmish.
Well, skirmish, yeah.
Mm.
I think we won it, though. Whoever we are.
Ooh. I think the French might have something to say about that.
Probably.
Yeah, but we don't always listen to them.
No, we outnumber them
Well, that's true.
on here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only two in tonight.
Other voices
And only
I
one,
recognise.
and only
Andy
one
Heath.
Scotsman, I think.
Andy Heath. Die.
Yes, he's
I
coming.
feel a bit, I
just
feel a
to
bit
get the
lonely
feel
here.
of, feel of how he can be abused this side of or that side of the mic as well as when he's turning. Because don't forget, Andy's turning Tuesday lunchtime, covering for me.
You back in
I'm
again on
covering-
next Tuesday?
Tuesday, yep.
Yep.
Gonna
Yep.
do
Oh,
a bit
cool.
of colouring, bit of texturing on a platter.
I missed your live the other day,
It's still
and I
up.
went to look. It's not. I went to look at it yesterday. and He said it wasn't there.
Oh, I watched it yesterday.
It was there when I looked at it.
I must
Did
go
you
back in
get
again.
did you get the 12 o'clock program one? Because that's not there because that was
Oh, all right, okay.
somehow we managed to set up the wrong details on it. It come up that it was actually me because I was trying to help Andy. It was
All right, okay.
blind leading the drunk at the time. And
If you search with Andy H is for turning, it'll
Yep,
come up.
I'm sure I was a subscriber to your channel anyway, so
And
I'll
it's
find
got-
it.
Oh yeah, you'll find it. And it's got the big W, big grey W, because I couldn't work out how to do a thumbnail. So, but I've done one for the next Tuesday one. Well, it's a
Yeah, good
photograph.
man. Good man. Excellent.
I'm getting there.
I
Slowly.
will find it.
yeah,
Yep. Me
well,
too.
like all of us, we're all newbies and we're all too old for technology.
I was going to say the technology is a nightmare.
Yeah.
See, we're back on the French wars again.
Good, we started that
Yeah.
back up. Good.
Why he said, according to the song, Napoleon did surrender at Waterloo.
Good old ABBA, but they're
Good old Alva, right?
Scandinavian. I mean, what do they know? We could upset nearly everybody, couldn't we? If we
That's
were.
where my surname comes from. You need to be careful now, Andy.
I don't mean any of it. I love everybody. Everybody's wonderful.
Right. Well, that's the first part. I will carry on filling this another day, but that's made my fingers ache. And that was half of a pack. I just need to screw that down tight so that it doesn't go off overnight.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing it finished.
Yeah, well, it won't be finished, but it'll be filled because I'm going to finish it next.
The internet is a fad.
Yeah.
So that's a lovely
Florida.
comment. I like it.
Oh my God! Mark the Gentleman Woodturner's arrived. Hi,
Oh,
Mark.
Mark.
Hello, Mark. Yeah. So
Nearly
that's
finished.
yeah, that's the bit for this evening. Don't knock that because that'll fall on the floor. So it's going to change the camera so that you can look at me. That's not always a good
Do-
idea.
Do we have to? Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, because as well, you might even get bought in. Yeah, come on, work.
No, we like seeing your smiley face, as I said before.
Yeah. So
Florida has just said
There's
that's the
me.
worst oyster Rockefeller I've ever seen.
there's me, and
Oh,
Oh,
there we
God.
are.
yeah,
You're not there at all. You're not there at all. You're
I will
missing
be
out.
when
No,
I-
you're not. There you
Yeah.
are.
Oh, there you are.
I will be when I get there.
I'm not
Right.
sure that's an
Yeah.
improvement.
There with the camera in place.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's a fairly snug workshop when you've got to try and get everything in. So that's tonight's, guys. So you can see the shape. It's got an undercut rim, so they will be going down the inside. It won't be very deep, but it will be deeper than what it is at the moment. Yeah, that should flow through there quite nicely. So that will be next Thursday evening's little episode. Hopefully that will go quicker than what tonight has, because I think Rich is on next week, so I can't overrun 9 o'clock.
A dissatisfied customer, Keith. It's Florida, not much of a cooking show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not impressed,
Cooking
obviously.
show.
oh you missed that, mate. We did the cooking to start with. Yeah,
That's because you were late, Florida.
yeah, yeah. We can't. If you can't be on time, I mean, it's not their fault.
And Gerard is still delivering his lesson in French history.
Yes, that.
Yeah. Mark, next week you're aiming for Keith is doing a CA finish. Well done, Gerard. Yeah. Well, if nothing else, guys, there's 42 of you still watching me, and I think we've all had a bit of a laugh. So,
Yes, indeed.
I would say so, yeah.
yeah, but that's what it's about. I mean, the wood turning side is serious, but as long as you guys can appreciate that we're all human and we need a little bit of a laugh at times, come and join me. Anything you guys want to say and add to what?
Bye.
No, thank you very much. Bye. Yes.
God, look what I've got to put up
No,
with.
it's all very good. Thanks, Keith. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
If there's any questions in the chat quickly, because otherwise it'll be bye-bye and see you next week.
Back on rugby now, I think.
Steve Jones has just said there, thanks for the tip, he's going to try out that new cut.
Okay, well done, Steve.
Chris says
if you want to chat via email or messenger, it's not a problem. We can always do a video messenger if necessary. I'm quite happy to do that. And like I say, quickly, I've got 53 1/2 inch, 56 1/8, and 112 inch bandsaw blades if anyone needs any.
There's Keith bragging again, guys. Jeez.
Yeah. But I'm only asking for postage for them. And the other thing is pen blanks. If anyone's after any pen blanks, just as long as you cover the postage and maybe a beer in it. Well, be a bit pushed, but I think I can find a few.
One or two.
Yeah, to cover that. So that's it, guys. So I'm going to go at the other end and hit
Press
the off button.
Talk about him now while he's not there. Talk about him now, guys. Sorry, you can't see
but I can still hear you and I can still see you. Yeah, because I can see on the other computer. So we're going to end it there, guys. Thank you very much, all of you. And
bye, guys.
We'll see you next week.
Magic.